my feet gets the best of me. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You know I was a casualty until you stopped my heart and you made me see I need love. I need you. You know I was a casualty until you stopped my heart and you made me see I need love. I need you.
Hello, welcome back to RL Talk. Today, I'm going to be previewing week 3 of RLCS Season 9. Josh is away, so he's not here, but he is back for Monday, and that is a definite. Like the review, and yeah. So let's just go right into it. Something that you might not know is that with North America and Europe, they have switched like some of the weeks around because of the original the first week when it was delayed. So they've switched the weeks around because they've rescheduled, which we'll talk about more when it comes to the point. But this week in North America and Europe, they have 6 games instead of 5. So the matches are Cloud9 versus Flight, Rogue versus Sonics, G2 versus Flight, NRG versus E United, Pittsburgh Knights versus Ghost, and NRG versus Space Station. So the 2 teams playing 2 games this week is NRG and Flight. So Josh has said that Cloud9 will beat Flight in a very decisive 5-game match. Then Rogue will beat the Sonics 3-2. Then G2 will put probably what would be the final nail in the coffin for Flight in a 3-1 win. Then NRG to beat E United 3-1. Then Ghost to beat Pittsburgh Knights 3-2. And NRG to take another 3-1 win against Space Station. So what that does for his league table is have NRG top 4-0 at a +9 game differential. Then G2 third at a second 3-0 at a +7 game differential. Ghost in third, 2-1 at a +2 game differential. Then Rogue in fourth, 2-1 at a -1 game differential. So they have a -1 game differential, but they're fourth. Then the Sonics 1-2 at a 0 game differential. Then E United, Pittsburgh Knights, and Space Station 6th, 7th, and 8th. 1-2 and at a -2 game differential. Then Cloud9 in 9th, 1-2 at a -3 game differential. And then Flight in a terrible position, 0-4 at a -7 game differential in last, which would probably, if Josh's predictions are correct, that would probably mean that Flight would go down, and that would put Flight in a very bad position. But for my predictions, I have Flight to beat Cloud9. In a 5-game series. Then Rogue to also beat Susquehanna Sonics 3-2. G2 to beat Flight 3-1. Then I have United to actually put up a fight against NRG. 3-2 to NRG. Then Ghost to beat Pittsburgh Knights 3-2. And Space Station to pull off an unlikely win 3-2 against NRG. which would leave my standings at G2 first at 3-0 at a +7 game differential. Then NRG second, 3-1 at a +5 game differential. Then Ghost third at a 2-1 and a +2 game differential. Space Station fourth, 2-1 at a +1 game differential. Then Rogue fifth, 2-1 at a -1 game differential. Sonics 1 and 2 at a 0 game differential. Sorry. Then E United 7th, 1 and 2 at a -1 game differential. The Pittsburgh Knights 1 and 2 at a -2 game differential in 8th. Then Flight 1 and 3 at a -5 game differential in 9th. And Cloud9 in 10th, 0 and 3 at a -5 game differential. Now, for EU, their matches for this weekend is Dignitas versus Team Singularity, Monaco versus Endpoint, Mouse versus Singularity, Vitality versus TSM, Reciprocity versus Veloce, and Vitality versus Barcelona. So Josh has Dignitas getting a 3-0 sweep against Team Singularity. Then Monaco beating Endpoint in a 5-game thriller. Then Mouse also beating Team Singularity but 3-1. Vitality beating TSM 3-1. Reciprocity beating Veloce 3-1. And Vitality beating Barcelona in a 5-game thriller where Flakes will probably use a Roadhog or a Merc. That'll be interesting to see which car he uses. But he has Renault Vitality winning that 3-2. So what that does for his standings, it has Dignitas and Reciprocity first and second at 3-0 at a +6 game differential. Then Renault Vitality 3-1 at a +4 game differential in third. Barcelona fourth at a 2-1 at a +3 game differential. Then Mouse 2-1 at a +2 game differential. Then Veloce 1 and 2 at a -1 game differential. Monaco 1 and 2 at a -3 game differential. Singularity 1 and 3 at a -6 game differential. TSM 0 and 3 at a -5 game differential, and Endpoint in 10th 0 and 3 at a -6 game differential. But over on my predictions, I have Dignitas to beat Singularity 3-1, Monaco to beat Endpoint 3-2, Mouse to beat Singularity 3-2. Then I have Vitality to beat TSM 3-1, Reciprocity to beat Veloce 3-1, and Barcelona to beat Renault Vitality 3-2. Which for my table means we would have Reciprocity first at 3-0 and that's a +6 game differential, and Dignitas second 3-0 at a +5 game differential. Then we'd have Barcelona also 3-0 at a +5 game differential in third. Then we'd have Mouse 2-1 at a +1 game differential. Then Vitality in fifth at 2-2 at a +2 game differential. Veloce sixth 1 and 2 at a -1 game differential. Monaco 7th 1 and 2 at a -3 game differential. Singularity 1 and 3 at a -4 game differential. TSM 0 and 3 at a -5 game differential in 9th. And then Endpoint 0 and 3 and at a -6 game differential in last. Okay, so over in South America, the matches for this week are X Loki, so the old Loki team, so I'm going to call them X Loki, versus Ints, the Three Sins versus Most Wanted, Aeon versus X Loki, 3-point shooters versus Ints, and Lotus versus the Three Sins. So Josh has X Loki beating Ints 3-2 in a 5-game thriller. Then the Three Sins beating Most Wanted 3-1. X Loki beating Aeon 3-1, and Ints beating 3-point shooters 3-1 as well. Then the Three Sins to beat Lotus 3-2 in a 5-game thriller. So what that does for Josh's table is X Loki first, 3-0 at a +6 game differential. Then the Three Sins 3-0 as a +5 game differential. Lotus in third, 2-1 at a +3 game differential. Ints fourth, 2-1 at a 0 game differential. Fifth is Most Wanted, 1-2 at a -1 game differential. Aeon in 6th, 0-2 at a -3 game differential. Sapphire 7th, 0-2 at a -6 game differential. And 3-point shooters 0-3 at a -6 game differential in last. I, however, have put Ints to beat the X Loki 3-1, the Three Sins to beat Most Wanted 3-1, Aeon to beat X Loki 3-2, Ints to sweep 3-point shooters, and Lotus to beat the Three Sins in a 5-game thriller. So what that does for my league table is Ints first, 3-0 at a +6 game differential. Lotus 3-0 at a +5 game differential in second. The Three Sins at a +3 game differential in third. Aeon 1-1 at a 0 game differential. X Loki in fifth, 1-2 at a 0 game differential as well. Most Wanted 6th, 1-2 at a -1 game differential. Then Sapphire 0-2 at a -6 game differential, and the 3-point shooters 0-3 at a -7 game differential in 8th. Now, for OCE, the fixtures are Noisy Isn't Toxic, I believe that's how you pronounce it, versus Fury, Cringe Society versus Team Esper, Ground Zero versus Canberra Havoc, and Renegades versus Mind Freak. So Josh has Noise Isn't Toxic beating Fury 3-1, Cringe Society beating Team Esper 3-2, Canberra Havoc beating Ground Zero 3-2, Renegades beating Mind Freak 3-0. So for the table, that leaves Renegades first, 1-0 at a +3 game differential in first. Second, Noise Isn't Toxic, 1-0 at a +2 game differential. Then Canberra Havoc and Cringe Society, 1-0 at a +1 game differential in third and fourth. Fifth and sixth, Ground Zero and Team Esper 0-1 and at a -1 game differential. Seventh, Fury 0-1 at a -2 game differential, and then 8th Mind Freak 0-1 at a -3 game differential. But for my OCs, I have Noise Isn't Toxic beating Fury 3-2, Cringe Society beating Team Esper 3-1, Ground Zero losing to Canberra Havoc 3-2, and Renegades sweeping Mind Freak, which leaves my standings as Renegades first 1-0 at a +3 game differential. Cringe Society second 1-0 at a +2 game differential, and Canberra Havoc and Noise Isn't Toxic 1-0 at a +1 game differential, which leaves Fury and Ground Zero 5th and 6th at a 0-1 record and a -1 game differential. Team Esper 7th 0-1 at a -2 game differential, and in last Mind Freak 0-1 and at a -3 game differential after the sweep from Renegades. So that is our preview for week 3. As I said, Josh, I'm going to be forcing Josh to be back for the review of week 3. But yeah, until then, enjoy the action, and I'll see you next time. But until then, goodbye.
I don't know, man. I think I disagree with that. I like Scrub's integration into the team. I think they definitely are a lot better right now. And just looking at the standings, you can see.
I think I need therapy. When my feet gets the best of me, I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you. I think I need therapy. When my feet gets the best of me, I can't seem to understand how you do this to me.